However, I'm picking the Tigers. Let's go. Where is Tulane University?
New Orleans. Do you know Ashton Earl, Dad? Welcome back to another week of Raised Down Sports. I'm Reagan, the daughter.
Hello, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. Raise on Sports. I am Jason, the dad, and we are so excited to be back in the swing of things. Back to normal, it feels like a little bit.
I know when I'm at home, it doesn't feel like normal, but I'm back at school for about 2 more weeks, kind of finishing out the semester. But how was your week, Dad?
Weekend was good, actually. Everybody, once you guys all left to head home, we were kind of back to a quiet house and just relaxing, watching a lot of football, had some friends over. Your sister did a lot of homework. So, yeah, but we're back. We're back and we're excited. And we have 3 weeks. So 3 weeks until Christmas. So we're excited. We're getting ready. How about you?
It was good. I obviously had my whole week at home at Thanksgiving. So it was so fun to be home, so nice, so chill, very relaxing. And then I came back on Friday to watch the USC Clemson game, which we will talk about later.
Yeah.
But despite the loss, I had like such a fun day. Like it was such a fun game day. I think it was all the seniors' last game.
Yeah.
The energy in that Death Valley was incredible and so fun. So it was a really fun day, especially because Miami lost. But again, we'll talk about that later. So it was just a fun day. Sunday was chill. Now, this week is actually insane for me. These next 4 days or 3 days are filled with projects, exams, presentations, all the craziness because I don't have any finals. So this week is my finals week and I'm going mental. But
it's all good.
I'm excited for this podcast.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting a lot of response from via text or via phone call even, is our amazing podcast from last week where we kicked some field goals.
Yep, when you ate shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was
How you feeling, Dad?
I'll be honest. Well, I did play some pickleball yesterday, so I could be a little sore from that. But my hips are sore.
Are still sore?
Are still a little sore.
That was more than a week ago, Dad.
I know. But I took a fall, and that was I had somebody even reach out to me and say, "What did I stage that for content?"
I do need to post it to our TikTok. It's coming.
Okay, good.
It's coming. I promise.
That
We're gonna go viral.
100% Charlie Brown.
That was so like that. No, yeah. That was natural. And I wish my sister kept filming because my reaction after, I think it cut off and I was just like,
yes.
And like, that's it. But our reactions after was funny. But
you were both very concerned. So I do appreciate that. It wasn't all in jest. So
it was funny though. But I think we need to go back out there in Christmas because yes, it's hard. The field goal is hard.
I'm all in. I'm all in for a Christmas redo. Go on the turf. I'll have cleats.
Oh.
And I'm going to stretch a little bit. And yes.
Where are you getting these cleats from?
I have cleats.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm an athlete.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. But I think on the turf it might be easier. Yes. And maybe a little more peace of mind. Maybe I'll actually study this time, stretch a little bit before,
Yes.
We'll see. But enough about last week. Or actually, no, let's talk about last week. Let's talk about these football games.
How about this weekend of games?
College football. That was the last week of regular season.
Yep.
And it was crazy.
I know. Just when you kind of thought that it couldn't be any more crazy, then you get a weekend like that where it was not only was it just the upsets in college football that we had, it was the post-game celebrations that now everybody is talking about, and the movement and rankings and the playoff selection committee coming out today. So, oh, yes, good stuff.
I did see that someone posted, and this number might be wrong, but there was an average of like 2.6 upsets from a top 25 team to unranked teams every week.
Oh, really?
And then there was about like 80 something upsets throughout the entire season from unranked teams to top 25 teams.
I believe
Which
it.
is
I believe it.
crazy. This is not normal. This is not normal for college football.
Yeah, we've talked about this before in some of our other episodes, that what is causing this, and maybe it is the playoffs, maybe it is a 12 team and more teams feeling like they have a shot at it. So if that's the case, fantastic. Let's keep it going for years to come, because this is
I
fun.
think also like the switching of conferences, people all in different places now, bigger conferences could have something to do with it. But let's start off with Georgia Tech.
Holy cow, the Friday night, what was that, Black Friday game?
Yeah.
8 overtimes.
Have you ever seen that before?
Never. I've never seen a game that goes 8 overtimes. I did just learn the week before when somebody did go into the third overtime, where they just do the 2-point conversion. Don't do their plays from the 25. So that was wild. That was wild, just back and forth. And you know what else? I don't know if they really caught this. They didn't talk about this on TV, but did you know that after each overtime they switched sides of the field?
Oh, really?
So for what was it? So 6 consecutive times they had to walk 100 yards down to the other end for their team.
They got to be a little bit tired after 8 overtime or 6 overtimes.
I'm like, just stay at one end and keep it going. But
I thought that was crazy because Georgia Tech was up 17 at the half.
Yes.
I was like kind of watching it. I went to bed. I went to bed at 10 o'clock-ish, and then I woke up at 12 to my roommates out in the living room screaming. And I'm like, what is going on? So I woke up, went outside, and they had their phone set. It's not even on the TV. They have their phone set up on the flowers or whatever, watching this game. And I'm like, guys, I like how you guys are watching it and I'm not. So I caught it maybe at the maybe second or third overtime.
Okay.
But then there was still 15 minutes left of the game.
Yeah, you still had a ways to go. So
it was crazy.
And Georgia pulls it out. They do not get upset, and they stay alive. They stay alive. They're going to the SEC championship. Yeah, I was hoping for that too.
I don't think it would have changed anything because Georgia still had that SEC championship spot, and they would have still made the playoffs even with that loss. But it's interesting for sure.
Wild way to start the weekend.
And now Tech will go to a good bowl game. They're now 7-5. I think they're a good team and quite underrated.
Way to represent the ACC.
For sure. Talking about the ACC and Clemson.
Do we have another ACC game?
A bad way to represent the ACC.
No, that was a great game.
Yes, it was.
Carolina Clemson, great football game. 2 great programs, 2 great football teams playing really well at the end of the season. And it was one of those games I thought, somebody's got to win, someone's got to lose.
Yeah, and that was the way to lose. I guess Sellers, the SC quarterback, is insane. Like, he is the best player on the field at all times. And he's huge, first of all. What is he, like 6'4",
240? Yep.
And he's so fast. Our defense could not catch him the entire game. He's a great player, and he scored a 20-yard touchdown with a minute left. Yeah. And that's kind of when all of our hearts just sank because we were up, or we were tied, and then we were up in the third quarter. And then Cade threw an interception kind of to finish off the game. But Cade had a very good game. He scored both touchdowns that we had. It was a great game, but it was tough to see.
Tough way to lose and tough for the seniors, but thankfully a little magic happened later that afternoon in Miami, Syracuse.
It was like a roller coaster of emotions that day for everyone.
I bet.
But yeah,
Miami going up to the Carrier Dome in Syracuse and losing 42-38 to knocked themselves out of the ACC race and put Clemson right there in the championship. So
I thought that was actually crazy. McCord, the Syracuse quarterback, kept saying in his post-game interviews, like, I want to bring good football back to Syracuse, and this is how we do it. And they beat number 6 Miami. And then the coach, after, I bet you saw it, it was everywhere. In his post-game interview was like, you're welcome, Clemson. Like, I got you in the ACC. Like, you're welcome. I kept mentioning Clemson. Like, I got you, Dabo.
Yeah, shout out to Dabo. Yeah.
So I loved that because everyone knew this was the huge game that Clemson was riding on, especially after their loss to South Carolina.
Do you think the Clemson players went and watched that game together somewhere?
Oh, 100%. They were definitely so sad after this loss because, again, the Clemson South Carolina game is a huge rivalry.
Yes.
People were fighting downtown. Like, there was fist fights going on. And so these Clemson players were definitely sad and probably went home. No Clemson player was out that night. I promise you that. So they were definitely watching that game, or maybe they're watching it together. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is funny because I posted a TikTok on my account of Clemson, and it's actually going viral right now because everyone in the comments is USC fans. We're like, Clemson sucks, Clemson sucks. And people are like fighting in my comments right now.
Oh my gosh.
Back and forth. I think it had, wait, let me look. I think it has like 400 comments or something. Just people fighting back and forth.
I'll have to look at that one.
You definitely have to look. It's just like a cute video from the game that I loved. And it was kind of just saying, even though Clemson lost, like, we're still in the championship. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But it's just people going back and forth fighting. It was like, I don't know if you can see. Just like a normal video.
Yeah.
But it's funny. But so the rivalry is definitely strong, and we're gonna come back next year, and we're better at every other sport. So except women's basketball. So
we'll go follow at Carrie on the court.
Yeah, subtle plug.
All right.
Okay, finally,
Tell you what, how about that? The biggest upset of them all, though,
and probably biggest rivalry of them all.
Probably one of the biggest rivalries: Ohio State, Michigan, where for the entire week at Ohio State they don't use the letter M.
Yep.
And they cross it out everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can turn that M upside down because W is,
which we both picked Ohio State, like,
of course,
without a doubt. Michigan has not been the same Michigan that they have been the last 4 years, and so I thought Ohio State had this in the bag. This was a huge upset.
Crazy.
The fight at the end of the game. Yeah. So what was it? Michigan planted their flag on Ohio State's field, right?
Michigan's celebrating and planting their flag on, or attempting to plant the flag. And, Ohio State players didn't like it, nor would I. But that's what they did. And next thing you know, we've got pepper spray and fist fight.
Pepper spray?
You didn't see that one?
Where did they get pepper spray from?
The cops were out on the field separating the two teams, and they pepper sprayed the football players. So you see the kids now crying, rubbing their eyes down. It was a melee.
Oh, it was not okay. I've never seen that before. I saw they both got fined $100,000 from the Big Ten for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yep.
It was not a normal fight after a game. Yes, there's some brawls I've always seen, but this was the whole bench from both teams were fighting and going at it. There was blood.
Yes, and I tell you what, too, shame on Ryan Day for the Ohio State football coach. The way he carried himself, I don't know if it was just an act that he didn't know what was going on, but you could see him saying to players, what's happening, what's going on. You could see other players around fighting, and he's just standing there, not breaking anything up. So I don't know, just a real bad look for a head coach to not intervene and get your.
What was the Michigan coach doing? Like, trying to break it up?
I didn't see him, but I don't know. There really wasn't, but there was some clear footage of Coach Day just not doing anything, and then his post game comment saying, hey, you disrespect, kids are going to act that way. Well,
that's not okay.
Not okay.
Violence is never an option.
Yeah, that's not okay. So
And, like, planting a flag, like, yes, that is, like, disrespectful, but that's a normal thing people do, especially with rivalries. It's not like you've never
Sure.
seen it before.
Sure. Baker Mayfield started it years ago with
Yes.
Oklahoma, did it at Ohio State. So Ohio State, it's not the first time an opponent's done their
The
flag
flag
on your
down.
field. So
But
yeah,
now Ohio
it
State's
is
out
a
of the
little.
Big Ten championship.
They're out of the Big Ten championship. Most likely will still be in the playoffs,
Yeah.
though, uh, depending upon a few other things. So
Mhm.
yeah, we crazy win, crazy
Mhm.
loss, however you want to look at that. But we also had Oregon winning, Texas beating Texas A&M,
Yep.
Penn State and Indiana both survive. So it's
Yep.
going to be real exciting to see the college football playoff rankings today coming out
Yeah,
later
I know.
today.
I saw this article. This was kinda like talking about who's in, who's out, and so I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
Um, 4 from the Big Ten, which being Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, Indiana,
Yes.
which is crazy having 4 teams in the same conference, but they're
Yeah.
all proved themselves this
Yeah.
season. Um, 3 from the SEC, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee.
Okay.
This
Yep.
is, like, not for sure, but
No,
very
that's
much,
about right.
like,
So that's
good.
7 of
7.
12 right there.
Yes, and then 1 from the ACC, so
Yep.
SMU or Clemson, whoever wins this game. 1 from the Big 12,
Yep.
Iowa State or Arizona State,
Yep.
so that's 9.
That's
The
9.
Mountain West champion,
That's 10.
Boise, UNLV, and then Notre Dame. So
And then
that's
Notre Dame's
11.
11. So it
But
leaves
then they
one
said
spot.
there's a possibility of Army, if they beat Tulane in the AAC championship, they would move ahead UNLV if UNLV beats Boise.
Yes. Yes, I saw that too. So a lot can still happen. But it's
Yes.
funny when you think, okay, 12 teams get to the playoffs. But when you're really talking about it right there, you just announced all those winners and everything. There's one spot, right? There's one spot that's open. You just said 11 teams are going
Uh-huh.
to get in. So, we're looking for one more team.
Here's the teams that are, like, in the rankings for the 12th spot that I saw in the article too. SMU, if they lose to Clemson.
Yep.
So, Boise State, if they lose to UNLV.
UNLV. Yep.
And then there's, like, the ones that are not playing in the championship, Miami,
Miami,
BYU,
BYU.
Alabama,
Yep.
Ole Miss, South Carolina. So now
5,
there's 7. There's
7
7
teams.
teams wanting that 12th spot.
So I'll tell you what, too. So Clemson is what they in the NCAA March Madness tournament they call a bid stealer when a team wins a conference championship and steals a bid from another team,
Mhm.
because the only way Clemson's in is if they win. So
Yeah.
if Clemson wins the ACC championship, they are stealing a spot from one
Same
of
with
those other teams.
UNLV.
Same with UNLV.
They'll be stealing a spot. But I just think it's crazy that all of these teams are wanting that 12th spot. I know the South Carolina coach after the game on Saturday kept saying, "We deserve a spot." That game shows that we deserve a spot. But they're 9-3, just like Ole Miss and Alabama.
Yeah.
BYU and Miami are 10-2.
Yep.
Also strength of schedule. Like, I don't
They
know how
played. Yep. That's gonna be tough.
these people are gonna pick the 12-team playoff, but
That'll
a
be
lot of
fun.
people are predicting Clemson to win. That's all I gotta say.
Well, it's funny. I've actually seen the other way. Everybody's talking about SMU. Just okay, the ACC champ is SMU, and they'll be in. I think it's a great thing for Clemson just to be overlooked,
Yeah.
kind of an underdog. The game is in Charlotte.
I'm going.
Is somebody going?
I am. I'm so
Woohoo!
excited.
That'll be
Me and my
awesome.
friends. I actually got a free ticket from one of my friends, but yeah, everyone's getting tickets, and I think we're gonna
Great.
go up and just spend the day in Charlotte. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff,
So late game.
so it's late,
Okay.
but it's gonna be mostly Clemson fans. It's gonna be filled with
Yes.
orange.
Yes, I agree.
So I'm excited. It should be
That'll be so
fun,
fun.
and it should be a good game.
Yeah, it should
Hopefully.
be. It'll be interesting to see SMU kind of on the big stage.
I agree.
A lot of their games are
Because they haven't played anyone that crazy. I mean, they did beat Louisville, and we lost to Louisville, but they haven't played anyone that's notable, so.
Well, with that being said, why don't we jump right into our picks for this coming week?
Got it. Let's pick 'em.
So I did update my board. Where is it? There it is.
I know you haven't had your board in a while.
I know. So
You've been at
Dad
home.
is 26-9. And
That's pretty
Logan-
impressive, Dad.
Yeah. I mean, we are just picking games straight up, no spread, and I guess with all the upsets, yeah, that's still pretty good. You're
Well,
19-12, so it's
I'm
it's
still up.
it's reasonable, still up. So
It's all right.
we have, what do we got this week? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have six championship games. So why don't we
Let's
just
pick 'em.
pick all 6 conference champions?
Okay. First off, Mountain West Championship, Boise against UNLV.
Okay.
This is if Boise wins, they are in. Obviously, if UNLV, and whoever wins is in.
Winners in.
UNLV is for sure out if they don't win.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna really say, if Boise doesn't win, they're out too. It's gonna be real hard to let an at-large or 2 team from the Mountain West in this tournament. So I think this is an all or nothing. Winners in, losers out. The game is in Boise. Boise, yeah. So in the Mountain West Conference, they
on the blue field,
the number 1 team gets to host the championship game. So a little different than some of the other conference championships. So the game will be very cold. It's on Friday night.
Ooh,
in Boise.
Weekend strong.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick Boise.
Okay.
On that blue field, I think they deserve it. They've had such a good season. Ashton Jeanty is probably the best player in the nation right now, at least the best running back in the nation. And I think they're going to win. I think they've had a great season and they deserve to be in this playoff. And they're going to fight against UNLV.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very well-contested game. I think UNLV, this is their only conference loss, so they'll definitely be looking for a little rematch, a little revenge. But the game just being in Boise in that weather, Ashton Jeanty just playing one more game for the Heisman. I will be cheering hard for Boise. We have a lot of connections in Boise with friends and others. So I'll lean with the heart on this one, and I'll pick Boise as well.
All right. Perfect. Write it down.
Got it.
Next, we have the AAC.
Tulane Army.
Tulane Army. This might be a good game because Tulane was in the top 25 for quite a while.
Yep.
Until they lost just recently.
Yep.
And Army's 11-1, that one loss being to Notre Dame.
Yes.
I think Army's going to win. They're the favorite.
All right.
But I think they're a good team. I don't know too much about Tulane, if I'm going to be honest. But strictly to the schedule and strictly to the record, I think Army's going to win.
Okay. All right. Good analysis. I am going to go on the other side of this one. I'll differ from you. I'm going Tulane.
Right.
I did see just a little bit of them play. They have a fantastic running game, good quarterback, good defense. I just think it's one of those teams that's kind of coming out of nowhere and wants to make a statement and wants to prove themselves. And
I agree.
I'll pick Tulane on this one.
Because who would have thought Tulane would? I mean, I don't know if they have a chance to be in the top.
Well, they win. If they win, they're in. So it doesn't matter, right?
That's I keep forgetting that. But like, who would have thought Tulane would be in the college football playoffs?
So, question for you, trivia. Where is Tulane University?
New Orleans.
Good job. Good job.
Do you know Ashton Earl, Dad?
No, I do not.
Do you know Alex Earl? Have you heard that name before? TikToker?
No. I have heard the name.
Braxton Berrios' girlfriend, Alex Earl.
Okay.
Her sister, Ashton Earl, goes to Tulane. And that's how I know.
All right.
Because she's in New Orleans.
Good job.
There's a little trivia for you.
There we go. Love it.
Okay, next we got, you picked Tulane. I picked Army.
I'll take Tulane. Yep. I'll take Tulane.
Next we have the Big 12 championship, which is bigger than I thought it would be. We got ASU at the number 12 spot right now and Iowa State at the number 21 spot right now. This is interesting because Iowa State was really good to start off the season. They were undefeated for quite a while. And then they kind of started to choke a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
ASU was kind of the opposite. Nobody was looking at them until just about a couple weeks ago when they had some big wins against BYU. And now they're at the number 12 spot.
Yeah.
Who you got, Dad?
So this game is being played in Texas in AT&T Stadium for the Big 12 Dr. Pepper Championship. Yes, I agree. Iowa State had a fantastic start to the year. Arizona State came on and is playing fantastic football lately. This is an absolute toss-up to me. This is 50-50 to me. So with that being said, and with all the craziness of what has happened, I'm going to pick Iowa State.
All right. I was going to pick the same.
For the only reason of why not?
I was going to pick the same thing. So I'm picking Iowa State as well.
Oh, man. I
Just
thought we
because
differ on that one.
I think they're a really strong team and kind of been pushed to the side the last couple of weeks, but everyone had their eyes on them in the beginning of the season.
Yes.
And I think this is a huge game for them to kind of show who they are and who they are as a team. I just want them to be ASU. I'm not a big ASU fan. But
this is going to be an early morning game too, Saturday morning. 11 a.m. Texas time. So I think
that's 12 o'clock game for me. That's normal.
So that might be a little something different for Arizona State, I'm thinking. So I don't know. I'm going against the grain. I think Arizona State would be the popular pick.
The Sun Devils are going down.
All right.
That's all I got to say.
Put it in. There we go.
Next, we have the SEC Championship. Probably, besides the Big Ten, the biggest game of the weekend.
Well, yeah, definitely. Number 5, Georgia. Number 2, Texas.
They're both going to be in the playoffs no matter what. So is it that big of a game versus ASU, Iowa State, Boise, UNLV, like these games that they need to win?
The only exception I would say is this. I know Georgia, the rankings will come out, and even though they had an 8 overtime game, they probably won't move too much.
Yeah.
But they do have 2 losses already, right?
Do you really
think they have 1 loss.
Keep Georgia out of the playoffs?
If they lose, and let's just say Texas wins convincingly, and Georgia just doesn't pass the eye test, is there a chance Georgia could be left out of the playoffs?
That would be hilarious. My biased opinion with my friends at Georgia, I would love for them not to make the championship. All of the shit talking they've been giving me all season.
Yeah.
But I think Texas is going to win this. They've been dominant. Quinn Ewers is at his all-time high right now. Georgia just almost lost to Georgia Tech, who isn't ranked, who, yes, they're a good team, but they're nowhere near Texas. So if they almost lost to Georgia Tech, and I wouldn't even say Georgia looked that bad in this game. Like, they didn't play bad. They just almost lost. And so even if they're playing good, I think Texas is better. And if they both have good games, Texas should win.
Yeah, but maybe that was a wake-up call for Georgia the other day too. I don't know. Texas definitely looking for a little revenge. Texas, their only loss this season. Who'd they lose to? To Georgia. Yeah, their only loss was to Georgia. So looking for
this is a little
revenge game.
Revenge game.
It is so hard to pick against Georgia, and can you imagine Georgia having 3 losses? But I'm going to go. I'm on the same wavelength as you. I will take the Longhorns and pick Texas as well.
We'll see. Do you know what time this game's at?
This is the afternoon game, I believe.
All right. I'll be watching it on my phone on my drive up to Charlotte.
Okay. All right.
Next, we have the biggest game of the weekend, I think. Oregon versus Penn State. Both of them will be in.
Yes, both of these teams will be in. Yeah.
Because we also have Ohio State and Indiana behind them in the Big Ten, who are also going to be in the playoffs, we're guessing. Of course, you never know.
You never know. But yes, I would think both these teams only with 1 loss each. Well, actually, I take that back. Oregon hasn't lost.
No.
So they're in. I mean, this is a no-brainer to me.
Yeah,
Penn State just hasn't played anybody, and the one time they did play Ohio State, They lost. They didn't look very good, in my opinion. So Oregon just has it rolling. Oregon will be the number 1 seed in the playoffs, undefeated. Give them the bye. Give them number 1 seed.
That's
I will pick
crazy.
Oregon.
With all of this chaos of the season, Oregon really came out on top, being undefeated. All of these other top 12 teams have lost, a lot of them to unranked teams. So I think Oregon deserves this win. Now they're going to make it 13-0. Penn State has not been that great. Yes, they're ranked 3, but when like you said, when they played Ohio State, they didn't look good.
Yeah.
And who else have they played that really matters?
Not really.
So I don't know. Oregon deserves this. They have been triumphant.
And we're down to one final pick. The ACC championship.
Yep.
Clemson
Obviously,
Tigers versus SMU Mustangs in Charlotte at night.
I know. This is going to be a good ass game. I was texting my friend Luke, who goes to SMU, and he was like, a horrible day turned not so horrible. He texted me. It's going to be a good game. I'm picking Clemson. Obviously, I have to because they need to win. I want them to win. I want them to be in the playoffs. I want to be at the school when we're in the playoffs. That's all I got to say. SMU beat Louisville. I said that earlier, but they haven't played anyone like Georgia Tech, like Miami in the ACC, like Clemson, who could have taken them down a couple notches in this conference. Clemson really hasn't either.
All right.
But I got to pick Clemson.
All right.
I have to.
Well,
don't you dare.
This could be interesting.
No, do it.
We are picking games for record. I can't tarnish the fantastic record and reputation that I've built here. And I can't always pick with my heart. And I can't always pick with my daughter's school.
That's so rude.
However, I'm picking the Tigers. Let's go.
Good, as you should.
Yes.
Do you actually think they're going to win?
I think it's going to be very tough. SMU is good. Their offense is amazing. Yes, Clemson D really has to come out and play well. And they did that at times against South Carolina, but when it came down to it, they really couldn't stop Sellers from South Carolina. So SMU's offense is high power, run up and down the field. So they're going to have a very difficult time with that. So they're going to have to figure something out. Cade is going to have to play hands down his best game of the year.
Oh, yeah. Barrett Carter, our running defense, did not have a good game last weekend, and so he needs to come back. And he's a great player. He needs to play good.
Phil Maffa needs something's up with him, so I'm a little worried about that. But all right, I'll say that it's something about Clemson and the way they lost, but then won later in the day. Something in the air. We'll give it to the Tigers. There you go. There you go.
Let's go Tigers.
All right.
And I'll be there, so I'll be cheering loud, and so they'll win, obviously.
Sounds good.
They have to. I can't go to Charlotte and then lose.
I know.
But that's kind of all we got for football.
A lot of college football, but that's number one in the world right now. That's all everyone's talking about.
I know. I mean,
I know NFL's hot. College basketball's hot right now too, but
I'm normally just a college football fan over NFL, but I think a lot of other people this year have had their main focus on college football just because how fun and exciting and interesting it is compared to NFL.
I will say this one thing, though, about the NFL, because it just came out this morning and I heard it on the radio. Did you see the Jacksonville Jaguar game against Houston where Trevor Lawrence got hit and knocked out?
Yes, and he gets to choose the punishment?
Well, they just suspended the Houston linebacker 3 games for that hit.
But
So that's pretty big. There's not a
Really?
lot of times but for players being suspended multiple games. I guess it's a repeated violation. And
Mhm.
so it just breaking news, he has been
Well,
suspended for 3 games.
I saw that, like, after he hit Trevor, some of the Jaguars players started fighting him.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like, that was a big fight too.
That was a cheap shot, though. That was
It
bad.
was
That
not
was bad.
that was
That's
very illegal, and he
yeah.
got a concussion. I don't know how long
Yes.
Trevor's out for.
He might be done for the year. He
You
might be done.
think?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
he only
yeah.
got suspended 3 games?
That's a lot for an NFL player, though.
Really?
That's without pay. That's pretty big. That's pretty big.
I
So,
saw that there's a new rule or a new-ish rule that if it's an illegal shot and, like, the player gets hurt, like Trevor got hurt, he gotta pick the punishment, or he got a say in the punishment for the, um, other player.
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how if that really happened, but I did see
Yeah, I
that.
don't think he got to pick, but the NFL did just come out with that rule and, yeah,
Alright,
that's
I'll take
kinda
it.
so
I hope he's safe, and I hope he's okay.
I know, I
Praying
agree.
for Trevor, for sure.
I
But I
know.
think that's all we got for today's episode, Dad.
Yeah, I think
That's all
that's
we
it.
got?
A lot of college football talk, and, I'm glad you got back safe and
Yep.
a couple weeks
I'll
to
be back in
go,
2
and
weeks, don't worry.
can't wait. Can't wait.
Alright, I love you, Dad. I hope you have a
I
great rest
love
of your
it.
week, and I'll talk to you later. This is Raised
Um,
on Sports. I'm Reagan.
I'm Jason.
Bye.
Bye.